So, can Daniel Jones be the future in Indianapolis? Now, I'm not too sure if he could be the future, but I know he could be a foreseeable option that this next year, he could bring the Colts to a playoffs appearance. I don't know if he could win a playoff game or two with the Colts. Probably not, considering how competitive and how rough the AFC is. First, you have to win your division. If you really want to be in championship status, you have to dominate your division, or at least win it. It's going to be difficult to do when you have the Texans. We know we're just trying to close the gap in the Texans right now, okay? Really, that's the goal. You want a division title, want to make a playoff appearance, and win a game. All right, that's probably what's at stake for Chris Ballard's job, most likely. And Daniel Jones is very capable of at least bringing the Colts to the playoffs. Winning the division, I don't know. We'll have to see how well the Texans play. Winning a playoff game, that may be pushing it. But you look at Daniel Jones compared to Anthony Richardson, it's not much of a competition. Daniel Jones can complete above 60% of his passes on a regular basis. Anthony Richardson can barely complete 50% of his passes. Now look, one thing that both have an issue with are the injuries. Injuries are a bit of a concern for both, right? But looking at the Colts, this is the best offensive line that Daniel Jones has ever worked with. Okay, and Jones has had some serious injuries. That's something worth noting. That's worth noting there. But this is the best offensive line that Daniel Jones has ever played behind, and it may not get better from last year. We're losing Kelly, we're losing Fries. Those are two big losses right there. But from the Giants situation to the Colts situation, it's miles ahead better than what the Giants have. Okay, we have a pretty good left tackle, left guard, and right tackle. That is our core, and it is strong. It is very strong. Now, where the question mark remains is center, losing Ryan Kelly, losing a great communicator, and losing Will Fries. But regardless, we're kind of getting off topic here a little bit. This is the best offensive line that Daniel Jones has ever worked with, okay? And Anthony Richardson, he had a really damn good offensive line last year. We saw with Fries, with Kelly. Kelly was hurt a couple games. Fries was actually hurt majority of the season. He had the big injury, and it is what it is. But the line was still pretty good. Okay, maybe with the signing like Tevin Jenkins, and we'll see how Tanner Bortolini, if he could be okay to begin the season. This is going to be a really good offensive line once again. Is it going to be as good as it was last year? Probably not. But and especially early in the season, it's probably going to take a while for that offensive line to take shape. But Daniel Jones may not be the future, but he is the answer for the foreseeable future. Okay. Heck, who knows? Maybe he comes to Indianapolis, new scenery, new head coach, new system, and let's not act like he does not have good playmakers. There were a lot of arguments last year that drops were an issue in Indianapolis. That is absolutely false. The drop rate was about average. And, if you go back and watch the games, if you know anything about the Colts last year, know anything about Anthony Richardson, his ball placement is horrible. It makes it difficult for the receivers to catch the football. So it's either, behind them, too far in front of them, too low, too high. Whatever way it could be overthrown or not in a good ball placement, it would be not in that good spot. Like, you know what I mean? And Anthony Richardson was not good at that at all. He wasn't good at much. I mean, he was athletic. He opened up the run game. But at the end of the day, he completed less than 50% of his passes. And, if you look at it, for how much the Colts did, for how good the offense was, when more than 50% of your plays more than 50% of your passing plays are going nowhere. And the Colts offense was still as good as it was. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Another thing, Daniel Jones is coming to town. He's competent. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is great. I'm not saying he's one of the best in the league. No, absolutely not. But he is a competent quarterback. If you give him a good situation, if you give him some pieces to work with, an offensive line that can give him, a little bit to throw the football, a couple of seconds to throw a football, more than, he's going to be much better than Anthony Richardson. I really don't think there's a quarterback competition. As soon as I saw Daniel Jones signed, I'm really like, yeah, there's really not too much of a competition in the quarterback room now. Daniel Jones, he's experienced. I mean, we've seen his ceiling. We've seen how good he can be. Daniel Jones is more than capable of bringing the Colts to a playoff appearance. But he should No, he will beat Anthony Richardson in training camp. I don't really have too many questions about that, to be honest with you. So, well, once again, we go back to the playmakers, and there's only more that we could build upon. Don't forget, the draft didn't happen yet. So we could still grab a guard middle round, late round, and still turn out. Heck, Will Fries was his 6th or 7th round pick. I think he was one of the last picks in the draft, actually. If there's anyone I trust more to go in and get some offensive linemen to go and fill those roles in center and guard, I trust Chris Ballard the most. He has an eye for offensive line talent. So there really shouldn't be too much of an issue with the offensive line. The weapons, like I was getting at earlier, the weapons are really good. I mean, Downs, all of your weapons complement each other so well. It gives a defense so much to worry about, and it gives Daniel Jones a huge selection to work from. You can throw it to anybody. Tight end is really, the big hole in the offense right now. But, draft time, if we draft Tyler Warren, even, the kid from Michigan or Harold Fannin, there are a couple of tight ends that are worth looking at that can make a difference for us next year. Even if Jelani Woods could stay healthy too. That's another thing to watch out for. But Josh Downs, like I was saying, all these weapons complement each other so well. Pittman's your contested catch guy. You could catch it deep, catch it short. You could do, he's kind of your jack of all trades receiver. He could block really well. Very good in everything, but contested catches is definitely his strength. You then move to the opposite side of the field. You have Alec Pierce, who was one of the best deep threats, if not the best deep threat in the NFL last year. I mean, and Daniel Jones has a decent deep ball. You give Daniel Jones enough time, he has a nasty deep ball. That can pay dividends to Alec Pierce, and he'll actually probably be on target way more than Anthony Richardson. AR's deep ball, he throws it deep a lot, but there's so many times where it's overthrown, underthrown. Like, he just doesn't know, how much mustard to put in the ball. And, even intermediate passes, even medium, short, it doesn't matter. He doesn't know how to put a touch of the ball. He doesn't know how to slow it down. All he knows is how to whip it as hard as he could. Now, he is working with Josh Allen, Chris Hess, and all these guys, but, at the end of the day, he has such a long road to go down. And Daniel Jones' experience, Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen, when their jobs are on the line, do you think they're going to take another shot with Anthony Richardson, or do you think they're going to take the guy with some experience that took the Giants to a playoff game and won it? I don't, and can complete more than 60% of his passes. I don't really think there's too much of a debate. I don't really think. I mean, there's a conversation to be had because people are really bringing it up a lot. And fair, yeah. You sign a guy for that much money, and you sign any quarterback, you're like, oh, okay. But the conversation is worth having, for some people. I really don't think that Anthony Richardson is going to beat Daniel Jones, man. And like I said, I don't think he's a future. But don't forget, let's go back to the weapons. I'm kind of all over the place here, but Josh Downs, great slot receiver. The separation that he gets is absurd. And that little zig, that out route that he does, he gets open almost every single time, and he does that spin, gets a couple extra yards. A.D. Mitchell, I think this is a guy, you get a guy in there, you get a quarterback in there that knows what he's doing. I think A.D. Mitchell can take the next step. He had a couple of drop issues, had some issues last week or last year. But he was a rookie. He was still learning the game, okay? And, you look at Jonathan Taylor. We signed Khalil Herbert. I mean, there are countless weapons in this offense. There are so many weapons in the backfield. And the addition of Khalil Herbert is incredible. I like that signing. Just hope that he cleans up the fumbles a little bit. But I'll tell you, I mean, this offense has weapons. Center should be all right. Tanner Bortolini, it may take a couple of weeks to get it up to par. And might not be as good as Ryan Kelly was last year or really ever was. Ryan Kelly is a premier guard or a premier center. Those are very hard to come by in the NFL nowadays. But we'll see. If you ask me who's going to win the training camp battle, Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, it's Daniel Jones, and I really don't think it's even close. So there's my quick little thoughts, a quick little video on what I think of Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson. I kind of broke down what the Colts have, what Daniel Jones could work with. I mean, Daniel Jones is going to be looking pretty good, man. Honestly, I think he's going to look all right. I don't think, is he going to blow your socks off? Is he going to blow the roof off the place? No. But Daniel Jones is more than capable of bringing this team to the playoffs. Don't forget that defense is a lot better. You know, the signing of the safety, the corner, Javarius Ward, can't bind him. Will we get Trey Hendrickson? I don't think so. I think Kwity Paye is going to take the next step under Lou. A lot to look forward to, and we're going to talk about all this more in depth. Every day, more in the offseason. So stick around. Make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on. Daniel Jones may not be the future, but he is the starter and can bring the Colts to the playoffs in the foreseeable future. So and he's a great leader. Before we get out of here, if there's one thing I want to say, he is a great leader. Daniel Jones is an incredible leader. He shuts up. He works. That's it. Great locker room guy. He doesn't tap out. He doesn't take himself out of games like 99.9, like every player except for Anthony Richardson does. No, Anthony Richardson does do that. I think I said that wrong. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. This is JDW Sports Talk Show. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe. Put the post notification bell on. More videos coming to you soon. March Madness brackets coming tomorrow. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. And it's a JDW Sports Talk Show. Catch you guys next time.